When it comes to Warzone 2, there are multiple ways of having perfect aim, whether it's the best class setup or even going over a few settings and even secret in-game tips that you can take advantage of. In this video, we're going to talk about all of that, but to start off, we're going to go over the settings. So the first one is going to be field of view. Now, field of view is basically how zoomed in or how zoomed out your screen is. So if your field of view is lower, everything is going to look more zoomed in. So your targets are going to look bigger, your iron sights are going to look bigger. And overall, what that does is that it increases the visual recoil that you see, making it a little bit harder to hit your targets and control that recoil. But now if you were to change the setting to anywhere between 100 and 120 is what I recommend. Everything is going to be zoomed out, so it looks like your iron sight is going to be smaller, your target is going to be smaller, and now along with that, the recoil of your weapon won't appear to be as bad. Now the next set I want you guys to look into is the ADS field of view. This one is pretty much regular field of view, but only takes place when you're aiming down sights. So what you want to do is change this over to effective. Once again, this is going to make your iron sight smaller, your target smaller, and it's also going to make that visual recoil once again not appear as bad as if you were playing on independent. But now next up, we want to go over to the controller settings. And now the first two settings are optional, so the horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity is going to be up to you, but I do recommend you guys put this anywhere between 4 and 7 because this setting does actually affect your ADS sensitivity. Because if it's too fast, how are you going to be able to track somebody over distance, let's say like 40 meters, 50 meters, 60 meters plus? I just don't see that happening if your ADS sensitivity is too fast. So if I were you guys, I would say to start off at 4, test it out in like a private match or whatever, and if you feel it's a little bit too slow, then just bump it up one notch and then just keep repeating that until you find what works for you. And then next up, this one I want you guys to change 100%, no questions asked. Change this to 0.8. At default, this setting is going to be 1.0. I just feel like 1.0 is too fast. Like if you're shooting somebody over distance, I just feel like the sensitivity is going to be a little too high just to make those micro adjustments if you need to. So if you just bump it down 2 notches, it's going to be a little bit slower and a little bit easier for you to track your enemies. So next up, let's talk about understanding the actual recoil pattern of the guns that you build out. So now for me, what I like to do is I go to private match. If you guys don't actually have Modern Warfare 2, you can actually get this done in the shooting range. I prefer to do it this way just because when I'm shooting a wall, I can see the visual pattern and the general direction that the gun kicks to. So what you want to do is change the map to embassy. Go to weapons and just build out whatever gun you want. For this test, we're just doing the M13. So you actually load into your match, you want to go here. And now from here, what I do is I ping this wall and I stand about 15 meters away. I aim at this black line, and I just empty the whole magazine at the wall. And I do this about 3 different times. And now the main reason why I do this 3 times is because in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, they actually don't have consistent recoil patterns. Like every time you shoot a gun, even though it's the same build, same weapon, the recoil pattern is going to look different, as you guys can see there. So I'm going to do it one more time. But it's really not a problem because all you're really looking for is the general direction that the gun kicks to. So you guys see it kicks up vertically pretty aggressively, right? But it also veers off to the left. So that lets me know that if I need to control this gun or if I'm shooting somebody, I need to prepare for the vertical recoil because it has a lot of it. But also hold my analog stick down a little bit to the right to compensate for the recoil that kicks up to the left. So what that's going to look like is this right here. So once again, I'm just holding down on the analog stick and I'm moving it to the right a little bit. And that's how we get it from this straight line to this dot. So that's basically the process that I take when I'm building out guns for class setups and stuff like that. And now lastly, there's a few tricks I want to share with you guys to where you can take advantage of the aim assist in Warzone 2. So jumping back into the firing range, there's 2 different types of aim assist I want to talk about. So now you have aim assist with your right analog stick and your left one. So with the right analog stick, we all know about that one. It's the regular one that slows it down when you're hovering over the targets, right? But now if you move your left analog stick, like you move your actual character, you still get that same slowdown effect right here. And sometimes it rotates your character around them. So what I like to do to take advantage of this is to use my left analog stick as well as the right when I'm shooting somebody, just to make that aim assist a little bit more stronger. So what that looks like is this. So when I'm shooting somebody, if you ever see any of my past videos, I like to strafe left and right very quickly like this. Just enough to get that rotational aim assist, but not enough to throw off my aim to completely miss the target. So what that looks like is pretty much this. So I just strafe left and right very quickly, and it makes the aim assist that much more stickier. So at this point in the video, just do me a favor. I mean, if this video helped you in any way, just make sure you guys drop me a like and subscribe so you don't miss content like this. And also down in the comments, let me know what areas of your game I can help you out with as far as like tips and tricks video goes. And I'll do my best to upload them whenever I can. And one last thing I wanted to talk about was my controller that I use. So I use a Cinch PS5. It's a custom controller with back buttons. I'm actually partnered, so you guys can get 5% off on any controller that you want to buy from that website. Link will be in the description. And along with this controller, I use Control Freak analog sticks. So what they do is that they extend the height of your analog. With the increased analog height, you actually get more precise in-game movements, kind of like what I was saying about earlier, making those micro adjustments over distance. distance. So if you guys want the ones that I use, I'll have a link down in the description for those. For both analog sticks, I use low rise. So overall, man, this is how I control recoil, and this is how I make it look like guns have no recoil, as people like to say. And if you guys want to see me use this M13 in an actual game situation, I played solo trios with this weapon, and you can click on that video right here.